The café stood on a quiet corner of the street, where people passed by every day but rarely stopped for long. Its windows were large and clear, reflecting the changing sky from morning to evening. Inside, warm yellow lights made everything look softer, kinder somehow. Emma had been working there for almost a year, and though she served dozens of customers daily, she often felt invisible, like a small part of the background no one truly noticed. She was not unhappy, but she carried a quiet heaviness inside her. Life had not been unkind to her, yet it had not been easy either. She lived alone in a small apartment above a grocery store, and most evenings she returned home tired, her thoughts louder than the streets outside. The café had become her routine, her safe place, but even there, conversations stayed short and smiles often felt hurried. Every afternoon, around the same time, a man would walk past the café window. He looked to be in his late 60s, with silver hair and a slow but steady step. He never came inside. He simply paused for a moment near the glass, looked around as if remembering something, and then continued down the sidewalk. At first, Emma barely noticed him, but after seeing him pass day after day, her eyes began to look for him without thinking. There was something gentle about the way he stood there, hands folded behind his back, eyes calm but distant. One rainy afternoon, when the café was nearly empty, Emma happened to look up just as he stopped outside. Without really knowing why, she gave him a small smile through the glass. It was not a big smile, just a simple, quiet one. To her surprise, the man smiled back, slowly, warmly, before walking away. That moment stayed with her longer than she expected. It was such a small thing, yet it felt like a soft light in the middle of an ordinary day. The next afternoon, she found herself waiting again. When he appeared, she smiled once more. Again, he returned the smile. No words, no gestures, just a shared moment through a pane of glass separating two strangers. Days turned into weeks, and their silent exchange became a quiet routine. Emma noticed that on the days she smiled, the heaviness in her chest felt lighter. She began to stand a little straighter, to greet customers with more warmth. It was as if that simple connection reminded her that even unnoticed people could be seen, even if only for a second. One evening, as the sky turned pale orange, the man did something different. Instead of walking away, he hesitated, then slowly opened the café door. The bell above it chimed softly. Emma's heart jumped with a strange nervousness, like meeting an old friend for the first time. He approached the counter with a shy smile. His voice was warm, carrying years of quiet experience. He introduced himself as Mr. Harris. He explained that he used to come to that café long ago with his wife. After she passed away, walking past the place became a way of remembering her, of feeling close to something they once shared. Emma listened carefully, her heart softening. She told him how his smile had helped her too, on days when she felt alone even in a crowded room. He nodded slowly, understanding without needing many words. From that day on, Mr. Harris came inside more often. Sometimes he ordered tea. Sometimes he simply sat by the window, watching the world move by. They did not talk deeply every time, but their conversations carried a gentle comfort. Emma found herself sharing small parts of her life, her love for drawing, her worries about the future, her quiet dreams. One afternoon, Mr. Harris did not come. Emma told herself not to worry, that perhaps he was just busy or unwell. But the next day passed, and the day after that. The café window felt different without him standing there. She missed the familiar shape of him against the glass, the small smile that had started everything. A week later, a young woman entered the café. She looked around nervously before approaching Emma. She explained that she was Mr. Harris's granddaughter. He had fallen ill and was resting at home. She handed Emma a small folded note. Tears filled Emma's eyes, but they were not only sad tears. They were warm, grateful ones. She realized that what had begun as a simple smile through glass had become something meaningful, something lasting. From then on, Emma kept smiling at people who passed the cafe window, not because she expected anything in return, but because she now understood the quiet power of small kindnesses. Sometimes someone smiled back, sometimes they did not, but she knew that even unseen moments could touch a heart somewhere. And every time the evening light reflected on the cafe glass, she remembered the man who had once stood outside, sharing a silent connection, proof that even through barriers, human warmth can still find its way through.